What's a modern-day snake oil item people continue to buy? They're basically expensive and inefficient laxatives. Anything that claims to detox, that's what your liver and kidneys are for. Anything sold by Gwyneth Paltrow. I know someone who bought a 5G blocker for $500. Essential oils, it works, slimming wraps, diet pills, basically anything the health MLMs are selling. Without a doubt, vaginal douching products. Who do you think is the one person whose death would result in the most geopolitical instability in today's world? Looking for another Franz Ferdinand, eh? The world needs more Scottish indie bands. Don't take them out. Putin, the boss of the biggest nation in the world, already feared and hated by millions inside and out of it. Stuck in a high-stakes war, costing billions of money and thousands of lives. If he dies, a lot of very big things will happen very fast and will be felt all over the world. Russia, no clear line of succession, and plenty of people better than, just as bad and worse than Putin wanting to be in charge next. Okay, everyone, I get it. The question asked, person I said, a country, then mentioned the person. What would happen if Biden keeled over right before the November election? Edit. Besides the internal mess in the USA, how would this impact other trouble spots and crises? Biden dying in November would be the most chaotic possible thing. You wake up tomorrow and the internet is gone. What do? Put down my phone, but then I would pick it up again to check. How to fix the fuck. I'ma be pretty upset, but at least I don't have to go to work. Same. Without internet, my job would no longer exist. Unlike everyone here who are completely delusional of our reliance on the internet, I'd freak the fuck out and assume something absolutely catastrophic either happened or is happening. Finally, my DVD collection will reign supreme. Go hang out at the library, show off my Dewey Decimal skills. What is something a lot of people say but use incorrectly? Over the last few years, I've seen an absolute boom of people saying weary when they mean wary. For all intensive purposes. I often see TikToks captioned insert thing that aren't POVs. I've heard a number of people say, let's take a selfie, and then hand the camera to someone else, so that person would take the picture. That's not a selfie. That's just a photo. Nip it in the butt? It's nip it in the bud. Then. So many people use then when they should use than. I'm not even from English-speaking country, and it grinds my gears. What's good plain etiquette that not many people know? At baggage claim, don't stand right up next to the carousel. If y'all stand a few feet back, way more people can fit, and everyone has an easier time seeing the bags. And definitely don't walk up and stand directly in front of someone who is already there. And you don't need your whole damn family standing there either. Earphones on when using any device. Always. Kids. No one wants to hear your music, game, TV show, phone call. Even kids. Coming from a professional work traveler, please, for the love of God, stay away from the boarding gate until your boarding group is called. If multiple people have asked you, are you in line, and you aren't, then stand somewhere else. Also, please, for the love of God, when picking up your bags from baggage claim, stand 5-ish feet back from the carousel. When everyone crowds right up on the carousel, no one can see or get to their bags. Standing back a little bit costs nothing, solves every problem. You'll still get your bag just fine, just stand back a little bit. Don't try to initiate conversation with someone who has earbuds, headphones in. Take your headphones out when telling the flight attendant what you would like to drink and snack. Don't pull on the seat in front of you when you get up. What is something that is widely accepted as false that is actually true? An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Everyone might look at this and say it's ridiculous, but I eat apples all the time and will never get a PhD. The dingo really did eat the baby. Poor Lindy Chamberlain. Found wrongly guilt on shoddy forensics, and because her behavior didn't fit the socially acceptable profile of a grieving mother. Most people I meet think the city of Troy is a myth, a Greek fairy tale that never really existed. Like Atlantis? This idea is so pervasive that when Total War Troy released, much of the community discourse around the game was claiming that any historical feedback was invalid because it was all made up anyway. Troy was very much a real place, a Luwian city-state and sometimes vassal of the Hittite Empire. Its archaeological remains are well documented, and even support the idea that the Mycenaean Greeks and Trojans fought a series of wars during the Late Bronze Age, which likely inspired the historical fiction of the Iliad. That lightning can strike twice in the same place. The old lightning doesn't strike twice in the same place. Myth. It does, and very often, the monster could have been named Frankenstein, as scientists usually name things after themselves. Eating 7 spiders in your sleep. You actually do. I feed them to you. What are you starting to dislike as you get older? Loud sounds, and definitely managers at jobs. That my mind is the same, but my body is betraying me. Sleeping away from home. I used to be able to crash wherever. Now it takes 8 custom pillows, a sound machine, my fan, ice water by the bed, protein bar on deck, etc. Lol. Peeing. I'm so tired of peeing. What's the most underrated advantage of living alone? When you get home from work to an empty house, the entire night is yours to do with as you please. Freedom. Easily the best part of living alone. Those few hours I get on weekdays are the only way I'm able to de-stress enough to face the following day. This is something I've struggled with since my GF moved in. Once you cohabitate, you don't get to walk in and decompress in silence, however you see fit. You immediately have to go to tending the relationship. Your time is your own. When you're home, you can do what you want at your own pace. Whenever someone knocks on my door, I can pretend to not be home. No one else is making my kitchen a mess. Not having to talk to anyone. Flip side, not having anyone to talk to. You can do laundry with no clothes on, so you can be assured that every single item of clothing you own gets washed. What is the saddest thing you have found at a thrift store? A faded picture of 2 very happy dogs still inside the picture frame. I bought it because I liked the paw print frame. When I took the picture out, there was an elderly person's cursive note that read, "My best friends." I kept the picture inside behind my own best friend's picture. I used to work for thrift stores. I sorted brought-in items and made them ready to be sold in the stores. Here are 2 of the saddest, dark things I found. 1. The diary of a child that described the parents divorcing, the mother getting another boyfriend that was abusive towards the kid when the mother wasn't around, the mom not believing the child when they told her what he did. 2. A suicide note. Both things were thrown away. As an artist, it's the paintings with messages to loved ones on the back for me. Stuff only gets there for 2 reasons. Its owner passed away, or it was just unwanted, so it's sad either way. Bought a nice carving knife, and the handle had a last name on it. The worker said it was donated by the last living member of said family who did not have children. It was an heirloom. Used to work for Goodwill. I think the saddest things for me were all of the pictures. A few times it was someone coming to me with tears in their eyes because their parent had passed, and the step-parent, spouse of the decedent, had donated everything out of either spite or not caring what the child thought. I gave one lady back the items her stepmother donated, despite the fact that it could have gotten me fired. I never understood how people could donate their wedding dresses until a lady explained that her daughter had gotten divorced and couldn't stand to look at it anymore. Found some soap? Someone donated bars of soap. So many adult diapers. That means they're dead. I worked at one for a short time. A woman would come in several times a week, always buying a few kids' toys at a time. I asked her about who she was buying for, and she explained they were to leave on her toddler daughter's grave. She'd been doing it for more years than the child had lived. If you could receive a detailed and accurate answer to one unsolved mystery, which mystery would you choose and why? Meaningful? The origin of the universe. Curiosity? Jack the Ripper's identity confirmed. Jack the Ripper's identity confirmed. You'd probably find out that it was just some guy who lived nearby and worked a boring job. And then you'd be like, okay, cool, I guess, and you'd never think about it again. There's actually a theory that Jack was one of the 2 guys that found the first woman, Mary Ann Nichols. I think his name was Charles Lechmere, but he was known by several names. Most of the victims were discovered on the route between his home, his mother's home, and his place of work. The other man that came across the body saw him leaning over Nichols, at which point Lechmere said he just found her. Then he insisted that they leave to find a police officer. His story changed dramatically between the day and the inquest, and he very actively downplayed his role. For a long time, he was just seen as a witness, but the guy, literally crouching over the dead woman, has got to be a proper suspect. What happened to Brandon Swanson, the Minnesota teen who disappeared after leaving a party? He told his parents to meet him in one town, which was in the opposite direction of where they found his vehicle. He was on the phone with his father before yelling out, "Oh shit!" and the phone cut off. They've never recovered his body. However, the incident did prompt a law which made it possible for law enforcement to declare a person missing without delay. In the old Superman TV show, he would stand there with his hands on his hips while the bad guys fired their guns at him. Then why would he duck when they threw their empty guns at him? An Indian prime minister went to a nation which was its ally and died under mysterious circumstances. There has to be more than what meets the eye. Oh, also Australia straight up lost a prime minister. He's never been found, I think. He went for a swim in the ocean and disappeared. They did name a pool after him, which is just a peak Australian thing to do. Well, that's another episode of Ask Reddit in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.